I never intended to lie to an alien princess. That was the cruel irony of it all. When the transport doors opened and the violet light of the Jatheri arena spilled across my boots, I was just another human cultural envoy. A soft title, a harmless title, one that let the Empire feel comfortable inviting me into their capital without deploying war fleets or planetary shields. The Jatheri love games of dominance, ritualized challenge, ceremonial conflict where strength, intelligence, and willpower were tested in public arenas that doubled as courts of law. To them, power was something you proved, not something you claimed. And Princess Sailor Javen was their finest champion. She stood at the center of the arena as I entered, tall and radiant, her bioluminescent markings glowing faintly along her arms and throat, her 4 eyes fixed on me with sharp curiosity. Royal armor clung to her frame like living metal, shifting hues with her breath. She smiled, not kindly. This was a smile of someone who had never lost. "So," she said, her voice amplified across the amphitheater, smooth and cold as polished obsidian. "This is a human they sent." The crowd murmured, tens of thousands of alien voices rippling through the chamber like a living ocean. I swallowed and forced myself to keep walking. "Yes," I replied, bowing my head just enough to be respectful without appearing submissive. "I am Elias Ward, representative of Earth." That name had buried civilizations behind it, but she didn't know that. Princess Sailor circled me slowly, boots clicking against the crystal floor. Her gaze dissected me piece by piece, my posture, my breathing, the subtle way my eyes tracked movement. "You look fragile," she said, soft, like most humans. A ripple of laughter spread through the stands. I kept my expression neutral. Appearances can be misleading. She stopped directly in front of me, close enough that I could feel the faint hum of energy radiating from her armor. "I challenge your species because I was told humans hide behind words and treaties," she said. I wished to see if that was true. Her hand rose, claws sharp, elegant, and she tapped my chest. "Fight me?" The arena erupted. I stared at her hand, then met her eyes. "Princess, I was not sent here to." "You were sent because your leaders are afraid," she cut in sharply. "Afraid that my people will test your borders. Afraid that your alliances are weak." Her voice hardened. "I will not negotiate with fear. I will challenge it." The Emperor himself watched from the elevated throne, his massive form half-shrouded in light. He gave no sign of intervention. This was expected. I exhaled slowly. "Very well," I said, "on one condition." Sailor's eyes flickered with interest. "You bargain even now?" "If I win," I said, "Earth is granted sovereign protection under Jatheri law." "And if you lose?" she asked. I didn't hesitate. "I submit myself fully to your judgment." The silence was immediate and absolute. The Emperor leaned forward. Princess Sailor smiled, wide and predatory. "Accepted." The arena floor shifted, crystalline panels rearranging themselves into a combat field. Energy barriers snapped into place. Weapons racks rose in the ground, displaying Jatheri blades, pulse spears, and gravitic gauntlets. Sailor chose her weapon without hesitation, a twin-edged plasma glaive that hummed with lethal promise. I walked to the rack and past it, unarmed. The crowd laughed again, louder this time. Sailor tilted her head. You insult me. No, I said quietly. I respect you. She scoffed. Then you will die faster. The signal chimed. She moved first, faster than any human should have been able to track. Her glaive carved a crescent of violet energy through the air, aimed directly at my throat. I shifted, not dodging so much as not being where the blade expected me to be. The edge missed by centimeters. Gasps echoed. She followed up instantly, spinning, striking from impossible angles. Each attack carried enough force to cleave armored vehicles in half. I let them pass, not because I couldn't block, but because blocking would reveal too much. Minutes passed. Sweat beaded on my skin. My heart rate climbed deliberately. I allowed my body to respond like a normal human's would. But Sailora noticed. You're not panicking, she said between strikes. You should be exhausted. I smiled faintly. Years of training. She snarled and lunged, overcommitting for the first time. That was my opening. I stepped inside her guard and gently placed 2 fingers against her wrist. The energy field of her glaive collapsed instantly. Her weapon clattered to the floor. The arena went silent. Sailora stared at her empty hands. How? I stepped back and raised my palms. Yield. She laughed once, sharply. Impossible. She came at me barehanded, claws flashing. This time, I moved faster. I redirected her momentum, turned her strike, and used her own strength to send her sprawling across the arena floor. Not slammed, placed. She slid to a stop at the edge of the field, armor sparking. The Emperor stood. Princess Sailora rose slowly, disbelief written across her features. What are you? She whispered. The words echoed louder than any roar. I closed my eyes. I had hoped it wouldn't come to this. Princess, I said, my voice carrying without amplification now. You challenge a representative of Earth. I opened my eyes and let the restraint fall away. The air pressure in the arena shifted. Gravity bent inward. Ancient symbols ignited across the crystalline walls. Symbols that hadn't been activated in millennia. Sailora froze. Her pupils contracted. Her bioluminescence flickered erratically. No, she breathed. That's impossible. The Emperor dropped to one knee. Every Zatheri in the arena followed. I stood alone. I am not merely human, I said. My voice resonated on a frequency older than her empire. I am the last living sovereign of the Concordance. The name rippled through the chamber like a shock wave. Sailora staggered back, horror and awe colliding on her face. The Architect's enforcer, she whispered. The one who ended the Void Wars. I nodded once. Your histories call me many things, I said, most of them incomplete. Her knees hit the floor. I challenged you, she said, her voice trembling. I insulted you. You challenged a mask. I replied gently. The Emperor approached slowly, head bowed. Why hide, sovereign? Because power breeds fear, I said, and fear breeds war. I turned to Sailora. You wanted to test humanity's strength, I said. This is it. She looked up at me, eyes wide and searching. Why didn't you destroy us when you had the chance? She asked. Because, I said softly, your people reminded me of mine. Silence fell, not the tense kind, but the heavy, thoughtful kind. Sailora rose shakily to her feet. I challenge you and you spare me, she said. Why? Because rulers who learn humility become legends, I said, and those who refuse become warnings. She straightened, something new settling into her posture. Resolve. Then teach me, she said, not as a conqueror, but as an equal. The Emperor nodded. The Zathari Empire accepts Earth as protected ally and recognizes you, sovereign, as a living treaty. I exhaled slowly. The mask would never fully return. But perhaps that was the point. As the arena dissolved and the stars beyond the capital flared into view, Princess Sailor walked beside me. No longer a challenger, but a student. And maybe in time, a friend.